Hey, everybody, welcome to Movies, a podcast about the act of cinema. I didn't fuck my cat. I didn't come on my cat. I didn't put my dick anywhere near my cat. I've never done anything weird with my cats. I promised myself I wasn't going to make apology videos after last year's thing. So I'm just trying to be as short and honest as possible. I am Simeon Jimmy, joined as always by LowRes Wonder Bread.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be back and do this series and talk about this Shane Dawson. I've actually never watched a Shane Dawson anything until yesterday, and I have a lot of thoughts here. But I'm very glad to have my good pal Hans with me back yet again as well. Hans,
Yeah, I'm a Shane Dawson fanatic. I'm obsessed with those 3-hour documentaries where he just talks to someone really stupid and makes them look like a nice innocent person. I've never seen one of his videos. I just know that
I think that was Making a
yeah.
Murderer you're thinking of on
Yeah,
Netflix.
he just goes to someone's house and hangs out with them, and then he's like, "Well, are they nice?" Didn't he do that with like Tana, Mongeau, or a bunch of other unlikable people? That was
I
his
familiar.
shtick,
remember
right?
I was down at Rusty Cage's place and he was hanging out with Emp Lemon, and like both of them and their girlfriends were fucking obsessed with watching those documentaries. And
Ugh.
it was a bad time to be at his house when they came out because, I didn't really have a choice. But we're also joined by the one and only Eggy Eggman Rodriguez.
What is up, fellow Dawson heads? I'm so happy to be here today to discuss truly, I would say, some cinema that really surprised me with just how good it actually was.
Oh, wow.
No,
you
no.
were expecting 1 out of
Okay.
10 and you got a 2.
Mhm.
That's pretty much how I felt about it, to be honest, but I'm sure we'll get into that. We have done several podcasts together, LowRes, about various YouTuber movies.
We have.
And I am certainly willing to say this is not the worst one. I hope you didn't see my letterbox review already. But
You know, I saw Hans's and I saw yours, and you guys, I think there was like a very minimal difference in the rating overall. I didn't read it because I didn't want to have my opinion potentially influenced right before watching it.
Your positive
And,
opinion on it.
I might have given away something here with Hans. Yet, yeah, I actually hold on. First of all, did we exhaust Kino Corner with all these YouTube movies?
No,
No,
I
I
think we
just
just
figure-
exhausted him with the review of his movie. So now he wants nothing to do with anyone.
No, he took it very well, and I continued to make fun of his movie to his face on other podcasts, and he takes it in better stride than perhaps I would. So,
Yeah.
good for Kino. I just figured 4 is a good number for a podcast, and I wanted to get Eggy on here, so I'm sure Kino
Yes.
can come back again.
Yes, I feel like Eggy's perfect for the Shane Dawson episode. So yeah, this is a match made in heaven. I will say I'm going to have a controversial opinion on this. I think this is the best YouTuber movie we've watched for this series so far, anyway, and I don't even think it's close.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ugh.
We watched Space Cop, didn't we?
we did.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
watch this again before I watch Space Cop. Sincerely.
Wow. Jay just committed suicide.
Now that's not to say this is a good movie, okay? This is not a good movie, and it falls
No.
right into the era of like you have Superbad, you have Mean Girls, and then about 5 years pass, and they don't really know what to do with that genre of teen comedy, and it regurgitates like a lot of the same vibe. It's not a good movie. It is a mess. But as far as YouTuber to the YouTuber to director pipeline, Shane Dawson, I think he had the easiest time because they gave him like $600,000 to do this movie. And Mumkey, I'm surprised you don't know about the. Do you know about the origin of this movie?
No, I was hoping you did the research.
I did do the research. I did probably too much research for this episode. I watched 6 hours of a show called The Chair, and The Chair is. Are you familiar with Project Greenlight?
Is that when there'd be like 5 little films and then you vote on which one gets funding for next week?
Kind of. So I'm not actually all that familiar with the process leading up, but it was kind of like American Idol for indie filmmakers, where Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and then this producer named Chris Moore got involved and were like, we're going to pick a director, we're going to pick a screenwriter, and we're going to make their first movie for them. And the first time they did it, the movie was a total failure. It sucked. The second time they did a movie called The Battle of Shaker Heights with Shia LaBeouf. And that one had like middling success. The third time was a big success. They did the James Gunn, I think, written movie Slither, or he was involved somehow in that. And that became like a horror series. Then, for whatever reason, Chris Moore couldn't get the rights to do a fourth season of Project Greenlight. So they did The Chair, and they had some friend of one of the producers on this series, who's a woman named Anna something. And Shane Dawson was the other contestant. And they were given one script by a screenwriter, and they both had to make a movie out of this script. And so there's one that's called Holidaysburg that is directed by the other filmmaker involved in The Chair. And this was the other one. This is not
using
cool.
the same script as this movie.
Yes. It's kind of an interesting concept. They didn't do a season 2. And it was a competition where people voted on like what was the better movie. Shane Dawson won the competition. Although critically, Holidaysburg has a much higher score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I wonder who had the bigger YouTube following to help him in the vote.
So they did address this because they knew this is going to be he's going to walk in an easy victory. They had to, everyone who voted on what film was better had to answer something like 20 questions about both films to make sure that they knew the voter had seen both of them. And they said that 40% of the ballots cast had to be expelled because it was very clear they didn't watch Holidaysburg. And he narrowly won 53% to like 47% or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A well-earned victory, in my opinion, because whatever that other movie is, obviously can't compete. You know, I don't know how much feces eating and vomiting was in that movie, but definitely
he said it's the same script.
Well, hold on a second. Actually, there's none. There's no feces eating in Holidaysburg.
That's right.
How could this be?
So I haven't watched it, but I've been watching, and I'm going to finish the series too because it's actually a really good reality show. They took a script from a screenwriter named what's his name? Dan Schofer, not Ben. And they were given permission to rewrite the script. And so Holidaysburg is like a mumblecore, Joe Swanberg-y, like very intimate, like quirky comedy from 2012. And then Shane Dawson was like, yeah, I'm just going to make a Shane Dawson cringy, weird, gross out humor comedy. I'm going to do the exact opposite thing. And that's why the movies are so different. Why this movie's so, like, again, super bad, Mean Girls, like of that era.
So on the quiz to find out if they really watched both, is there a question like, what did the nice black homeless gentleman eat out of a cup?
Or what did a nice black gentleman get paid to humiliate himself in like 4 different scenes where his character just eats different types of shit?
Yeah, LowRes, as a casting director yourself, how would you approach finding a black man to play the homeless guy who eats his own shit?
I mean,
listen, first you have to eat your shit out of a cup. Then you drink your piss at a urinal, and then
wipe your testicles.
Then we see your cock and balls on a window. $50 a day, like that. How much do you think?
In New York, you can get away with that for sure. In Pittsburgh, so they shot both of these movies in Pittsburgh, and the series is kind of great because it's a series of Shane Dawson meltdowns over the fact he's not in LA or New York, and so all the actors are also like professors or coffee shop, like they're normal people, and they read the script and were like, I don't think I can do this and go back to my regular job. And he's like, well, why the fuck are we like, he was just like bitchy gay guy mode, just like, why are we casting non-actors? Like, I'm sorry, you're unemployed and a loser, you should do my movie because I'm paying you. Like, he literally says things like that, and it's very entertaining. It's very good.
Did he find a real homeless man? Because I bet he would have done it for that price.
You might as well have. Pittsburgh's full of them.
And he was very convincing as a homeless person that eats his own, is happy to eat his own shit. It's not like he's just like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to eat my shit. No, he's like, yeah, just going at the cup.
Yeah, Sallow's too tame for him.
Yeah, why would he have it in a cup? It was a plot point that I didn't understand.
Pick it up off the ground like some kind of animal. I mean, listen, he's homeless. He's not a bad person, okay?
Just neatly packed into the cup and just.
He wants it to be a little discreet. He doesn't want to cause
like a
too
mug
much
cake,
of a scene.
you know.
I was
Eggy,
right
hypothetical. Sorry, Hans, go ahead.
Right from the beginning, I think it kind of hits you with there's the storyline of this girl that's being called or made fun for being a slut, even though she's not. But at the beginning, she has a line where she says, "Oh, I did have sex with a zucchini once, so I guess that was slutty." I think that's a great line to set you up for what's coming for the next hour and a half, where the humor doesn't really go deeper than that. Like that's kind of like the kind of jokes that you would expect and go throughout the entire movie. Just set up there with the first 30 seconds, a minute maybe.
Yeah, the sense
Actually,
of humor felt to me like if you took American Pie, but you took out all like the tits, like the sexual nature of it, and you combined it with like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel sitcom for kids kind of humor.
Oh
And
yeah.
then you said fuck a lot. It's just very unfunny the whole time.
see,
Also, I applaud them for the use of a fat girl where we don't feel good for the fat girl. We're just making
that?
fun of her because
And
she's
the
fat
joke is
and
that
gross.
she's disgusting.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was
It
like, all right,
fits.
that's kind of refreshing. We don't have a Melissa McCarthy treatment here. We're supposed to think that she's charming. No, she's just fat and gross. So I was like, oh, good for 2016. Or when did it come out?
2014.
Good for Shane Dawson, really,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Brave. It's very brave of him. Sorry.
As
Eggy.
unfunny as he is, at least he's willing to say retard and
Yeah.
faggot in this movie.
Well, he was doing like blackface on YouTube at the same time,
Yeah.
right? He was probably gearing up for his first cancellation.
Yeah, maybe we're being too hard on him. Maybe he's secretly a real hero who just apologizes too much for it.
Mhm. I'm very curious to know your thoughts on this movie, Eggy.
So I was gonna say what set me up for the tone of the film, because also while that same monologue about sex with vegetables is going on, there's these like these tweets that come up on screen that are all about like so you have like what I think just there's like a guy saying, "Oh, I miss my girlfriend so much," and he starts like making out with some dude. And like the fat girl that gets made fun of a lot, she's like, "Oh, hashtag no filter," and applies like 8,000 layers of Photoshop to her picture. Yeah, so basically, not to desecrate a real classic of the genre, but I definitely got some energy from this movie. Not another teen movie energy, really.
Ooh.
A lot
I
of that
love that
going
movie.
on. Obviously, once again, it's Walmart versus luxury in terms of quality and something that I would consider maybe a more serious actual film versus this movie. But I definitely got some of that energy in there. And yeah, that was a film I really enjoyed many years ago as a young person, and I did rewatch that a lot when I was like in junior high. And some to me just that good old fashioned yeah, saying fuck and some gross out humor. I mean, I feel like I've had to in the modern filmscape, it's like I gotta get too much out of everything. Everything's got to be, I got to really look at everything so critically. I have to get some kind of message or whatever from something. No, I just want to say, hey, that fat person is disgusting. And Shane Dawson is dressing up like a woman. And I thought the character who I've already, Trevor, yeah, I thought that might have been a trans actor at first. Turns out it's actually maybe a guy. So I'm pretty sure, I'm about 95% certain it's a man after, and was portrayed as a man in the film. Either way, so that the whole setup with this freak finally losing his virginity to Shane Dawson in a wig, I thought that was a really beautiful story arc through and through. Like, hey, this guy, hey, you're really smart and you're gonna make a lot of money, but unfortunately you're still a hideous freak loser with that nobody likes, so the best you're gonna do is Shane Dawson in a wig. But either way, but
is
yeah,
that guy
I
not
mean,
another big YouTuber?
I'm not familiar with him.
Not familiar with him.
The
I just thought
main
it was funny,
supporting,
like-
right? The
Yeah.
character's name is, I think, Joel. Am I?
Oh,
yeah, Joel.
The guy with the long hair?
Yeah.
Is that no? It's not or no? Was that Good Mythical Morning? No, it's not him. The guy from Good Mythical Morning is like 50, so he still has that carryover Gen X testosterone that this guy, unfortunately, maybe like a few too many years of microplastics in the water. This guy kind of ducked out a little bit on that. But with that being said, yeah. So I really just enjoyed it on its face for kind of just something that maybe Shane Dawson, maybe he took it to be very serious. Maybe it was really supposed to be something serious. I did not take it that way. I took it very unseriously, just on its face at that surface level crude humor. And to me, that's what I enjoyed it for.
When did you think it was serious? When he started twerking as a lady and then he farted and he's like, "Oh, I think I queefed." Is that the line where you were like, "This, this is it."
Well,
This is Daniel Day-Lewis.
You want to know? There was a breakthrough moment, and I believe it's about halfway through the film, perhaps. So when Shane Dawson and Hori Tori, they're, they got the fuck it list because Shane Dawson, he needs to just do a bunch of wild stuff. He needs to let go. He's hanging on to his past as a high school something or other. He was
the Chad, and now he's a real Brad in college.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when they're in the grocery store,
he's the Chris Evans, right? Shane Dawson is our Chris Evans from not a teen movie. That's
right.
Yeah.
When they're stealing the produce, and she's got the watermelon under her shirt, and the nice black lady at the cashier, she goes, she's stealing watermelon. She goes, "Oh, better late than never." And Hori Tori goes, "Well, something to the effect of, well, it is what it is. I was raped." And the woman's like, "Whoa." And then she finishes ringing him up, and Shane Dawson then trips Tori with the watermelon under her shirt, and she falls to the ground, and the watermelon explodes. And then the black woman's like,
yeah, and so only the red guts of the watermelon shoot out. So it looks like the baby somehow got obliterated. That was a good visual joke for me. That might be the joke of the movie.
Yeah, it pretty much actually my second one is when the schizo psycho ex-girlfriend of Shane Dawson named Heather, this is kind of towards the climax of the film, she steals an Indian man's mother's clothing and to basically sexually assault Shane Dawson's character to try to get him back. And she begins to perform fellatio on him, and she goes, "Thank you, come again." So those definitely were, I definitely stood up, rewound the movie at both of those points to applaud.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Excuse me. But yeah, definitely the shopping scene, I wasn't fully engrossed up until that point, but then I'm like, damn, they went there. Okay, Shane was really committed to this. I never watched his YouTube channel, so I don't know. I guess he was doing these kind of things. I guess that was par for the course for him. But like I said,
Well, Eggy, let me ask you this. Maybe I'm going to pick your brain. Tell me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
Could it be that in the last decade, comedies have become so incredibly edgeless and dull and unfunny that just the taste of the bottom of the barrel from 2014, just the fact that there's any edgy jokes at all is enough to satiate you?
I would say that that's a fair point. Yeah, absolutely. And once again, that's pretty much where the movie, that surface level depth, I'm mucking about in the kiddie pool right now, but it's like going from the Sahara Desert to an inch of water. So yeah, it was for that. But I mean, at the same time, but it wasn't excruciatingly bad in other aspects. It was, it was lukewarm for some of the other things, the set, the direction, the film. Like really the only egregiously bad visual part, in my opinion, was they're in the pickup truck or whatever with the green screen.
Yeah,
it was pretty egregious. But everything else, to me, it passed the sniff test, so to speak. It didn't immediately pull me out and be like, "Oh yeah, this cost $10 to shoot." It definitely, and the sets aren't all that extravagant, but it's the ambiance, everything fit to me as far as all that goes as it should. It all wasn't too bad.
I think they got actual mansions. You're not just filming it in Kino Corner's apartment. All of the dialogue is audible. I could hear everything everybody said.
Yeah, it's not an Airbnb like in Lover, that he rented and it's obviously using someone's house.
Roommates in the background playing the mafia. Yeah.
If we're ranking, I'd have this above Lover and Wasted Hours for sure. Hans, you gave this a 0.5 star on Letterboxd. I need you to shit all over this because Eggy's being too nice. We need to hear why this is bad.
I was very annoyed. I was not in the mood to watch something like this where we're expected to believe that two gay men are like this very awkward but very into girls story.
You think Shane Dawson might be gay?
I mean, I don't know about the other guy too, the guy with long hair. I mean, he was very masculine throughout the movie, and we're expected to believe that he's really into this girl and not just that he wants to dress like her, which happens in the movie. Then again, now that you mention, now that Eggy mentioned, not another teen movie. I'm sure Chris Evans sniffed someone's balls that he wasn't intending to get where he's been in his career. So maybe it is, every movie we watch is just two gay men trying to convince you that they're into women. So maybe that's the depth of this movie that we're not really thinking about. But it was very difficult for me to believe that the guy with long hair was so obsessed with this girl. So story wise. It was kind of it's difficult to think that I was expecting anything just because from what we've seen of YouTuber movies, expecting anything is just a recipe for being disappointed. But I am not I'm not missing those comedies at all from around that time. So this didn't feel refreshing to me because we really don't have comedy movies anymore. It felt more like, oh fuck, I don't want to go back to 2014, or I don't want to go back to when the humor was we have a fat mom and then we're going to use a fake fart sound when this fat lady can fart for real. What the fuck, that really upset me. That scene where I guess her room was converted into a gym by her parents, and then her dad is like pushing into her mom, and then you hear every fart sound that you hear in every movie, and I was just like, just make the lady fart and record.
Well, she does fart so hard that she shits in her pantaloons. Would you like the actress to really go through it on screen?
Go method, why not? I mean,
that's true comedy, that's cinema.
Listen, you were expecting me to believe that Shane Dawson is this handsome man that gets pussy all over town, right? So why can I suspend disbelief for that, but not that the fat mom can actually shart in her pants? Let's give me something, and that I made a note of it because it really bothered me. So I was like, she looks like she could fart, and you're not even recording a real fart, just a generic fart.wav sound. So it was just a lot of I just wasn't in the mood for this type of comedy, and I'm really not missing it, as I feel like Eggy might have a nostalgia for it from what he said of the movie, and definitely when LowRes was telling me about it, he was like, "Oh, this actually feels like I'm back in 2014, and this is great."
It does. What I said to Hans, as I was concluding the movie, was like this is the most 2014 feeling movie maybe I've ever seen, right? Because they're talking about Tumblr, like it's the original Twitter. I was like, oh yeah, the good old days. I kind of miss that. And I think three things came into play for me as to why I don't have like a severely negative opinion of this movie. And that's the first one, which is like they captured the era pretty well, whether they intended to or not. That's the vibe of this movie. The second thing is the comedy, even though it's not good or very well thought out, I much prefer it to something like Good Boys. For example, you guys remember Good Boys? I think Mumkey's getting swatted right now. I don't know what's happening. Something like that, where the modern humor is just like, oh, we're going gross out, and then they heavily rely on that and using the word motherfucker every other line. I watched a trailer in the theater to some movie that was coming out with a bunch of Asian women going to Asia. And then they played a dog movie where the dogs all fuck, and it was the same exact vibe and style of comedy. And that should not be the case, right? So,
the talking dog movie.
Yes, it was in Jamie Foxx, who I guess R.I.P. to his eyes and limbs, is in that movie.
Wait, is that confirmed that he's like fucked from the vaccine?
I saw an OK Magazine that they blamed the vaccine. I was like, OK Magazine is blaming the vaccine? That's pretty big.
No, he's recovering. He's just paralyzed and blind. He's fine.
2 more weeks. I'm trusting the science.
Let's give him another vax. It might straighten him out. Right. So it was the humor, it was the nostalgia, and then the third thing is, whenever we watch these YouTuber movies, the big thing that I think they all struggle with is the form, right? Because they're very green to the filmmaking process. They don't have people around them either to help guide, navigate what the film's going to be. They're just working with their own crew, which is often yes men who are impressed with their YouTube videos, but don't know the ins and outs of the industry and how you make a movie. And this is a Shane Dawson movie through and through. It's Shane Dawson poured into a film mold. Whereas I think you watch Space Cop, I think you watch Lover, you watch the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, they don't have an idea of pacing or anything like that. Shane Dawson had the benefit of experienced people around him to offer input and help straighten this film out and make it digestible for anyone who's not familiar with Shane Dawson. Although, obviously, this is Shane Dawson dripping edge to edge. It's him dressing up in drag. It's his YouTube channel in a film. And I think if you're with that, then you might enjoy it. If you're not into that, then this just isn't going to be for you. And it's not, believe it or not, it's not for me. I don't think it's the worst. That's my feeling.
It's the best of the worst.
The best. It is literally the best of the worst.
Yeah, that's fair. I, as a kid or whenever the fuck Shane Dawson was in his heyday, and even now, I mean, I've never really watched his videos either. This is the most I've been exposed to that man. And now I've seen his glittery titties taking up my whole screen. So I've seen a lot more of Shane than I was expecting. Are you guys familiar with something called Hey, It's Millie?
Yes.
No, it sounds familiar, but no.
It's a retarded puppet,
did I bring
right?
that up to you guys before? I just had deja vu.
I think you did. I think you mentioned, is it a retarded puppet?
It's like a little girl puppet with like purple hair. And I think it was a collab between the Fine Bros and Shane Dawson. And they've scrubbed it from the internet because it was like the character's a child who's talking about how she loves getting fucked by Shane and stuff.
Oh, wow.
It was really, really big. Like back in the day, I used to watch that one. But good luck finding any clips.
Found it.
You found it? Wow, that was
there's a
quick.
lot of it.
Oh.
Yeah, here's some. Oh boy.
You could be a little more gentle. You know what we could do, Millie? All right, Millie, that's it. That's all the mail we have today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Shane. And it was amazing to finally meet my hero.
Oh, well, it was amazing to meet you, and I'm sure we're going to hang out all the time.
When? When specifically am I going to see you again?
Gosh.
Hey, out of curiosity, what is the dark truth behind the Fine Bros?
I don't know.
I think it might have to do with this because this shit gets fucked up. That was a very innocent clip.
Bros in that online brand.
The fact that people of color eating their own feces being a recurring joke with Shane is so disturbing.
That relevant comment posted to
Yeah.
the top. Wow.
Wait, is it? I mean,
Hans,
a
can you
top
give that a
comment.
like to just make sure it stays at the top? There we go.
So I guess us not being true Dawson heads, I guess apparently homeless black men eating feces and urine was just par for the course.
It's a recurring motif.
Maybe everything that we're harping on here, maybe that was just, I don't know, it was a different time. And I believe
based is what
It was
you're
a
saying.
better
2014 the 2014 goggles, like LowRes said. I mean, that's so true. We don't think about it, you know what I mean? Because for us, we've just been living through this time. You know, we're of this age where, you know, when it's not like the 90s, and we don't have that definite nostalgic flag that's planted. But you know, now when we see this, we're starting to realize, okay, now those defining characteristics are sort of coming through to the top like a shipwreck that's found under a drained lake or something.
Yeah, I guess that's why it doesn't really hit the nostalgia thing for me, because to me, homeless people have always eaten shit. So I guess, to me, it's like, oh wait, it's 2014. What?
LowRes, hypothetically, this July we will be collaborating in a film with Eggy. Should
Yes.
we have him eat his own shit and fart so hard that he shits his pants?
God.
In blackface, by the way. My name in the
Simulated
movie is
or-
going to be Dane Shawson.
Yeah.
Are you
Talking
thinking
about Eggy?
simulated or unsimulated? Eggy, I
No,
know
for
you
real.
for
Hey,
real.
listen, Kino Corner, he gave me a great recipe for lifelike feces that he eats
True.
when he reviews Sallow the movie, and I think he eats it like popcorn when he watches it because, you know, really into the experience in his favorite film.
And that
But-
flaky fuck, I'd say there's a 20% chance he'll actually be here. Maybe he can make the shit for us.
That's right.
Likely, Eggy, it might just be you and me. Ultimately, I don't know who's actually going to make it to Central
help.
Iowa for
I
that.
can
can
if I can't make it, I'll send Hans on my behalf.
That'd be great.
Okay.
I can make this shit. I'll
Yeah, I know all too well from rooming with Hans during Mass State Lottery. He could make shit very well.
Yeah,
So-
every morning. Yeah, fresh
Yes.
batch.
Well, sounds like a treat, Eggy. Stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah.
Is that for your
Eggy-
wheel? Like the wheel
The
of
wheel of the
treats
worst
is gonna
is-
be
Wheel of Hans's shit. This is for Tuesday. This is from Wednesday. Eggy, are there any other scenes from the movie that stick out to you? If we're gonna swing the pendulum back to praise for this great masterpiece.
Well, let me see here. Well, actually, too, when Hans was talking about how the guy, the virgin, trying to get the girl, who ends up with just Shane Dawson and drag. Yeah, there's a scene where he's modeling women's clothing at the store for like his female friend, like try to like figure out what the girl he likes is gonna want, and he's like, "Oh, this is so stimulating right now," and I'm like, "Oh, AGP." I'm like, "Hey, listen, I don't know. I thought from the beginning, I don't know. I'm not trying to say too many demonetizing things, but all I'm saying is
It's
that
too late.
I had
I've said
that-
them all at this point.
I definitely, there was a bullseye, immediate intuition from the second that this character came on screen for me. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
I really enjoyed when the fat woman vomited and the girl said there's at least 10 different restaurants in there because it makes fun of how much fat people eat.
yeah. How about
It's a layered joke. Just
how
like your
about
skin.
the at the beginning when his girlfriend is sucking his dick through the wall and he's like, "Oh, it's like the wall's eating my penis." That's a good line.
Well, so when they came in on that scene, there's a guy masturbating in the stall, and then she drops over and he's not there. That was a continuity error. Definitely pulled me out of the film for a second. But also going back to the ski lift where the black man was pressing his testicles against the window. One of the female leads also pulls her pants down and presses her ass against the screen. Which I thought she kind of had it going on. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the women in the film, the ones that were supposed to be attractive, they were good to me. They were decent. They fit the bill for me. And I never watched Shane Dawson. Very believable that some woman would probably be interested in him. I'm not saying he's Chad's here, but I just don't really know too much about him. He was not fat. His hairline wasn't terrible. I thought he was kind of hairline frauding with the whole side swept thing, but he ends up
He
shaving
does shave his head at the end, and
and
it
he's
looked
not
a little far
balding.
back to me.
Listen, okay, for like 22 years old or whatever. Listen, maybe I'm biased. Okay, maybe I had this hairline when I was 5 years old. And it's been tough for a lot of years for me. So from my perspective, where I stand, it looked like a believably appropriate hairline. Okay.
I will say, he kind of looks like Jack Nicholson now in the behind the scenes footage on the chair, where it's like that hairline is, he does some work on it for the movie. I'll put it that way.
Does he do some Kino corner trickery with his hairline?
What are you
Because I've
referring
seen-
to
Kino
here?
corner hair.
Yeah, I've seen
rumors here?
I've seen some updates where I'm just like, just because I have this on my head, I'm like, oh, I see where that's going. It's not it's not gonna be good in a couple of years. And he's just curling it up forward just to,
He's trying to go for a
artistic.
Unabomber look for a while, but maybe his genes won't let him.
Maybe
Tragic.
not.
We need a replacement, and he's
Yeah,
betraying
R.I.P.
humanity.
Ted.
You mean he's got the right mindset, but yeah, gotta get the
Got to get the hair going.
gotta go keeps.com/wavy web surf, friend of the program.
Sure. A shout out to Wavy.
Shane Dawson has had, I think, the most longevity out of any classic YouTuber because he comes in and out of fashion. I remember, and Mumkey, let me know if you remember this at all. He went on, and this was a little bit before this movie came out, I believe. My introduction to Shane Dawson was he went on Rob Has a Podcast to talk about Big Brother. And I remember he kept making racist jokes about Kesar.
Oh, what?
Yeah, this was the
No,
thing.
I guess I did not see that.
I feel
back
like
in
it
the
was.
day.
I feel like it was during Big Brother 14 or so. Whenever they brought back Janelle and Boogie, because why else would you
Oh.
bring up Kesar, right? But yeah, that was my introduction. Is he kept making Arab jokes about this beloved contestant on this reality show.
Well, back then, was Rob cool enough to just let it slide, or
yeah,
what?
it was not. It was a non-factor. Like it was
funny.
just he was going with the flow. So then, I feel like he came up in the Jenna Marbles era of YouTube. On the chair, he said he was active on YouTube for 8 years, and that's 2014, which means he's been on there a long time. And he got like a second or third win for his documentaries. Back in 2017, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And hanging out with Jeffree Star and doing all that. And then he got canceled for what? Cat molestation. He did something bad. He did something very naughty.
Well, he joked about fucking his cat and jerking off on it, and then the mistake was apologizing for it. Like that tweet that I read at the beginning is more humiliating than making the joke in the first place.
Yeah.
The fact that you even think you need to clarify that it did not actually happen is a little revolting in itself.
Because it tells you that it actually probably did.
It could have crossed his mind at any point. Like if something is that absurd, you shouldn't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a joke, but I kind of aimed at him when I was joking last time.
You got some splashback. I used to
Can't
do a podcast with Digibro, and we did a whole segment on like what's the best thing to do with your cum after you masturbate. And I said, wipe it on your cat. Nobody's ever made me apologize on Twitter for that one. I'm waiting.
I think there's other things that people have made you apologize for. I don't know if that would be on top of the
Hey,
list.
if you heard me say sorry, let me know. I don't know if I apologize.
Fair enough.
I said it is what it is, YouTube.
That's right.
I think the reason why they came after him is he tried to. So he built himself on like edgy humor, doing like gross out sex humor on his YouTube channel, and then he grew up a little bit and diverted into I'm going to do like the serious YouTube stuff, which he's welcome to do, but then bring in that new audience, and especially during like a very cancellation heavy time, it was just bad news. Is he still doing videos? Is he still active? What is Shane Dawson up to these days?
She was on Steve-O's podcast, which apparently didn't go that well.
No, what do you mean?
It
Didn't
Googled,
go well?
I googled his name, and one of the first things that came out was like, oh, his appearance on Steve-O's podcast was.
Did it go better than Bam's several appearances on
Bad.
Steve-O's podcast?
Bam's doing great. It just says, he's been struggling, or he's not been doing not well because he's been canceled.
Are we gonna look at him? Is he gonna be 320 pounds?
Remember, you said he looked like Jack Nicholson in the chair. I didn't think of the chair of the show. I'm thinking Jack Nicholson in the chair courtside with like the fucking chili all over his legs on the ground.
spilling
That's what
spaghetti on the
Shane
court.
Dawson looks like right now. He needs to do. He should crowdfund off the momentum of this podcast. Crowdfund Not Cool 2, where he's like the dad or something. Like a new perspective. Like make it even less cool. Like, oh man, I thought I had it rough, when I was in college. Now, just look at me now.
Mhm.
I gotta figure out, Tori the Hoary. I need to go get a streetwalker out of alley. Oh yeah, he's definitely looking like Jack Nicholson courtside.
He's looking a little
Yo,
disheveled.
he looks sweaty. He looks like he just ate a big roast right before this podcast.
Why is his hair combed into his face? Push that shit back, dude.
He's probably hiding like some scars or acne or some like a wart on his temple. I don't know. Look he's disgusted. Steve-O looks grossed out.
Steve-O looks better, and he's 25 years older and has every drug addiction. What the fuck?
Still can smell it from there, so he's just.
What does Shane Dawson have to be sad about?
Yeah, I guess he wanted people to take him seriously when he started doing those documentaries, but why would you take Shane Dawson seriously? I know that he did bring a YouTuber with him that's like a psychologist, or like a girl that pretends to be a psychologist to like psychoanalyze the people that he does documentaries on, but it's just such a weird turn into please take me seriously as this mental health person that I'm just trying to help popular YouTubers that you won't like if you actually get to know, because they're people like Tana. Is that someone that you want to spend 2 hours with, Tana Mongeau, and just what, this is the person that I really want to get to know deeply as to why she does the things she does. I feel like his shtick was that, and it's just like, I don't. Who cares? Just do your, I guess, cat coming on cats humor, I guess.
Oh,
I
he's
don't
like
know.
Just go
35
back
now.
to the child puppet that you made all
Yeah.
those horrific jokes with. You know, the Fine Bros, they copyrighted the word react and they were okay with it. So, I mean, how bad could it really be?
Let's think about it though. That version of Shane Dawson doing the puppet molestation videos would be fucking terrifying. That would be creepy. I mean, that's
Bring it
that's
back with how he looks now.
yes, that's
He
something
looks
that needs
like
to be
he should
reported.
be eating shit out of a cup on the street.
Yeah, younger Shane Dawson coming on his cat, that's fine. Fat Shane Dawson, that's fucking disgusting. Don't no,
Yeah,
that's
no.
not okay.
I don't know. I think Hey It's Millie 2 should come out with that Shane Dawson. That might bring him back out of the depression spiral. Like, just go back to your roots, do the comedy that you know so well. Because maybe he feels like an imposter. He's trying to make these serious documentaries about psychology. You know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
maybe it's just not really in him.
You got all this, you got kick.com right now, Andrew Tate's and free speech, and you know, the woke mob. Elon Musk is going and defeating the woke mobs. The perfect opportunity for a fat, greasy, morbidly obese, unbathed 40-year-old Shane Dawson to talk about molesting a puppet. You know what I mean? The time is right. The dials, the alignments going on with the
Mhm.
planets. Shane, we know you're watching. Do what you got to do.
That's how you win back the culture. I think it's time for the team up that Onision has been praying for since he stole his whole appearance and vibe from Shane Dawson. I think they're both down on their luck. They look different enough now. Let's merge these two guys together. Do a special on like OAN or something. I don't know. Give them some
Let
kind
them
of
throw
show.
a concert for children.
Yes.
Children and cats.
He's
Oh,
44
my
minutes
Lord.
ago. Okay, well, you know, he's chubby, but he looks. I mean, it's clearly fake happiness.
He's replacing the
but-
child puppet with an actual child.
Yeah. He
It's
probably
just-
looks better than I'm gonna look at that age, so maybe I'll let him slide.
But it's really like fat guy fashion too, right? Where you just cover yourself with a denim jacket and just try to hide.
You always lean forward so the
Yeah.
jacket's
Yeah.
laying in front of you.
You get to see like the neck indentation he's got going on. There's like a whole different color going on around his collarbone.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
is it-
feel like
does that say
like
groomer on his jacket there?
Yeah.
he's going for that I'm fat now, but I'm going to change my life and be inspirational again kind of look.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he maybe needs to go on like a season of The Biggest Loser and see if that does any reinvigorating for his career.
Celebrity Big Brother 4. If
Oh,
the
that'd be
writer strike
great.
keeps going on, they're gonna need something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I bet he would do it if he went on Rob as a podcast.
I think he would. I think it would be a great move for him. Tom Green got a big boost from celebrity. Like I feel like a lot of people forgot about Tom Green, and as soon as he did that, it was like he got reactivated in like the public eye. And Shane Dawson, you know, maybe second up, maybe.
Do we have any other thoughts on this movie?
Nope. I think it's not good. It's certainly not cool.
Yeah.
And Shane Dawson trying to do like a clumps thing was maybe I don't know. I think it works sometimes. Like once, I kind of laughed. I kind of laughed. I went when he was that bitchy girl and was like very aggressive. I didn't expect that sort of immediate aggression. So it
With
caught
the
me off
bus
guard.
driver.
I don't remember. I've already memory hold this fucking movie.
Yeah, I saw it last night and I feel like I can only remember maybe 10 minutes of material. Like the jokes are so overdone from it, maybe just repetitive or straight up stolen from so many sitcoms. Like the whole plot of the guy spied on the girl and knows everything about her, and now he's like revealing it to her and she's getting creeped out. Like I've seen Malcolm in the Middle, Shane. Like, come on, dude. Like this has been done. Most of these jokes are completely stolen.
You know, now that you mentioned it, I guess that does make sense. Also, why I feel that similarity to Not Another Teen Movie, because it's literally just packed with, because that's the whole point of Not Another Teen Movie, is just every trope and everything just piled on. And yeah, that's definitely what this movie's completely full of. So that's another parallel that I got going on with it, but also not something that I necessarily have a aversion to. It's not like an immediate disgust, but it certainly is not currying points in its favor.
I think the difference for me is that like they rebuild the library set for the Breakfast Club. Like that's that's the passion in not another teen movie, and they have the principal come in. They're making direct parodies and references to these movies, whereas this feels like just plagiarism from just everything that ever has been made.
True, true.
It is certainly derivative. I don't think it breaks any new ground. And from what it seems like, and again, this is me watching The Chair, 5 hours of The Chair out of the 10 hours. It kind of seemed like at a certain point, he was just like, fuck it, we're just going to lean into the cartoonish nature. Like it started as like a sincere teen comedy.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, he was just like, fuck it, we're just going to like chalk it with jokes. It's for my audience. Who cares about the general audience? Let's just do this. And he didn't really care to innovate with it or do anything interesting.
I guess you can appreciate it for that. And especially with the track record that we have the other YouTuber movies that we've seen. This is probably at the top, and that's very that's very kind of sad to say, but
Can we list off the ones we've done
Yeah.
together, LowRes?
Okay, so we started, I feel like did we start at Lover?
Could be.
Yeah, AVGN.
I didn't do AVGN
You
with
didn't
you,
do AVGN, yeah.
but I've seen it, so we
Kino
could
was
count
on.
it.
This was before
Yeah.
our crossover and before we ever had you on
Mhm.
movies, Mumkey. We did AVGN with Kino Corner, and then we did Lover as the first crossover episode, I'm fairly certain. And then Space Cop, and then we did Wasted Hours, right?
Yeah.
Or was there one in between Wasted Hours and Space Cop?
Is it really just those
I
three
think
plus
there's only
this?
those three.
I feel like we're forgetting one.
Well, if those are the ones, I mean, I still like Space Cop a little bit more than this, but at least I could hear the dialogue in the movie. So it puts it in the top echelon so far.
I think it just comes in at an advantage because he had like a 90-person crew working on this movie. Like he did it
Yeah.
through conventional means. If he had done it on his own, I feel like then it's probably not the most watchable of the YouTuber movies.
Was he, I mean, I don't know anything about him, but if he was directing and editing his own YouTube videos for years, maybe that could have translated into an 80-minute comedy. But again, maybe with all the microphones and shit, he wouldn't have had enough people. That's probably what some of these other movies ran into issues with.
I think
But,
it's definitely that, yeah.
Eggy, do you have any final thoughts on this fine film?
Yeah, I couldn't find anywhere to view this movie for free illegally, so I spent
Oh, you should have hooked
$5.
you should have came to me. I could have hooked you up.
of my hard-earned money.
Eggy, 1, 2, 3
No.
movies.
Yeah.
It's I guess maybe it is on. It's not. Basically, it's so undesirable that there was only the one avenue, which was Amazon, for me to be able to find anywhere to view this film. Now, with that being said, I didn't feel bad about spending $5 to watch it. It wasn't egregious. It had enough of it was satisfying enough to watch it one time. I'd probably give it a solid 4 out of 10.
Wow.
Whoa,
Maybe
I
it
wouldn't
ma-
even be that generous.
Because like a 3 out of 10 is like anything below a 4 out of 10 is like I'm actively unpleased, I'm displeased, I don't even want to watch it. But 4, it's kind of in that spot where it's like, it's below average, it's not all that, but it wasn't actively off-putting. I got some laughs out of it. 4 out of 10 to me is a fair score on my.
You sure it wasn't some sort of Stockholm syndrome or sunk cost fallacy at play that you spent money on it? Like, oh well, I gotta convince myself I got something out of it.
It was digestible. As
have you seen Kino
as
Corner's
LowRes
movie, Eggy? Maybe you need to see that to compare.
I've never seen Wasted Hours. Never.
So maybe this will be a masterpiece once you see that movie. You'll say it's like a 9 out of 10.
Well, I guess Kino Corner is more deserving of my whatever money to watch his movie than.
Oh, no, it's out for free
Dawson.
now. He released it for free to everybody. But
Okay.
maybe when we're all together at my house for the film festival, we want to be inspired by true cinema, we'll pop on Wasted Hours for the boys to watch together. Why not?
Listen, I try to do the same when I paid for Lover, but there's not a lot for me to be like, oh yeah, it's $5 that I could have fed my entire village with. I spent it on fucking Lover.
Lover.
Yeah, so
Can you
that
pass that around? Can you just like
no,
maybe
no.
bring up morale in Costa Rica by giving them a digital copy of Lover?
No, someone just trying to make a movie deep by just turning it in black and white. No, no. So I mean, I guess this is the best we've seen in this series. Just because I was expecting so much more from Space Cop, and then when I got was very low effort, very okay. I guess I'm supposed to get think this is charming, but yeah, I hate it. I hated this.
I think with Space Cop, the highs and lows are greater, right? But this just continually kind of to what Eggy's saying here, it's kind of like just having a screensaver on your computer that's going. And that's why, I don't know. I think there's something more to that in the case of these movies anyway.
Are we gonna end up I think he did 2 more, Shane Dawson, right? There's one.
We could save those for 2024 and 2025.
Yeah.
But where should we go next? Who are the other big YouTube movies out there?
That's a good question. I feel like we're really starting. So we started with the particular like film YouTube niche because that's just easy to clean up on. All those guys try their hand at filmmaking. Yeah. And with this, you know, we're starting to get into like the popular YouTubers of the past, you know, and I feel like maybe Logan Paul, he probably didn't direct anything. But I feel like
a movie called Airplane Mode, and it is a very, very low rated movie on IMDb.
Grand. I feel like there's probably somebody else that's like Shane Dawson we're not honing in on just yet that directed and starred in their own movie.
Did Philip DeFranco make a movie?
Oh God, could you imagine? I really hope not for the sake of these episodes. I hope he did not make any movie. We would have to pull up that Wikipedia again, I think, where they have the list of 30 films that star YouTubers. I know there was one with David Dobrik and Jason Nash that was kind of like Cannonball Run. Now, technically, they were on like Vine at the time when that movie came out. And that's how
I don't even know who those people are. But then again, I don't really know who Shane Dawson is either. So, are you guys looking up, Eggy, some great films we could watch?
I just poking around some popular YouTubers trying to see if anything.
Well, we should mention, Eggy, that if everything goes according to plan, there will be 3 new YouTuber movies coming out this year. Not just the LowRes film, but evidently Kino Corner and BG Cumby both want to make a feature film starring Eggy this year.
Whoa,
they've both like completed a screenplay for it or something. So we might have 3 movies to review pretty soon.
2 separate? Hold on, BG and Kino are working on like 2 separate movies starring Eggy here?
Yeah, they both want Eggy as the star and they're not collaborating. It's just 2 different movies.
I tried to get Eggy this year. Eggy's a very busy man. Eggy had a Bones concert. Eggy, you're wanted. You're going to be headlining a lot of stuff.
And in fact, I'm actually literally wanted every now and then, you know what I'm saying? But what can I say? You know what? Living life on the edge. You know, I mean, I live life to the fullest. They say the candle that gains 200 pounds of fat burns twice as bright and half as long or something, whatever the case might be. You know, we still keep pushing and we do it for the love of the art.
Well, Hans and LowRes, I think us 3 should bet which movie do we think will be better, the BG Cumby Eggy movie or the Kino Corner Eggy movie?
I don't know who
Eggy, I guess you can weigh in too. Oh, you don't know Cumby? That's fine.
No.
BG Cumby's very, very funny, but I don't know what his filmmaking ability looks like.
I think his YouTube videos are all filmed on his like laptop built-in camera. There's no editing at all, which is why I appreciate his rants, because there's no editing like in his 10-minute video, and it's actually impressive.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that translates into making a movie.
I would say I feel like the Kino Corner film, it's gonna be more ambitious, but at the same time, I think that the Cumby movie it might really surprise us with some of the chemistry. So I think that's my cursory glance if I had to make a statement.
Interesting. Okay. I think I'm gonna bet on. You know what? I'm gonna bet on Kino on this one because that's the less. Listen, we watched his movie. It was an early stab at filmmaking. Some of his YouTube videos are shot pretty well. I think Kino will come out on top here.
Veteran versus the underdog. We'll see, but I'm going to give 110% in both performances already. You
You guys
know,
want my down real legitimate opinion here, or should I keep it steady for the fans and the friends?
I want to hear the real truth. It's called the red pill, and I'm ready to take it.
Here's the red pill. Neither of these movies will ever be made. Are you fucking kidding me? It's not a fucking chance. Like, all the donated money will be refunded. You guys are high if you think this shit's happening. But if the movies are made, Cumby's got a great sense of humor. I'm excited to see what he has cooking up. It sounds like Kino just wants to be derivative of a fucking taxi driver again.
Huh.
Well, I'm going to say this. You know what? If they don't want to put it together, you know, then it's just time for me to ascend to where I need to be and take the camera into my own hands.
Next month, Eggy, guaranteed. I fucking paid the entry fee. We're making a short film no matter what.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's happening. Fuck these guys with their fucking tunnel vision plan. We're doing it.
I think it's going to be Wasted Hours 2.
This is like the Kino Corner insert character all grown up as Eggy.
Excuse me.
Are we doing this Smosh movie next? Is that what's
Smosh.
Is that what we should do?
There's a thing called Camp Dakota that I wasn't familiar with, which is a Grace Helbig, Hannah Hart, and Memory Hart movie.
Yeah, I don't recognize any names, but I'll watch anything.
Yeah, it's just three of those funny internet girls. You know, they're very, very funny because they say girl things.
Hey, I'll give this to the Shane Dawson movie. The main chick, you know, they gave her some horrible material to work with, but she was probably pretty funny. You know, she could get some jokes out.
Yeah.
Let me just play 30 seconds of this trailer just so you can see. This looks a lot more painful than what we had to go through with this movie.
When you have a desktop computer, sleep, and it's daytime at the Apollo. Hi guys.
That's the opening scene of the trailer.
I don't know. I think she's introducing the trailer, maybe. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's
weird.
Just as bad. Yeah.
Okay.
You all grown up.
I'm getting married in 2 weeks. Love you.
Before you know it, you'll be driving your little ones up to Dakota for the summer yourself.
Oh, man, I think my ovaries just winced. This might be
Oh, you get it, guys? She's got a pussy, and it's drying up, guys.
It's got that royalty-free music.
Hey, that's a very real concern for women of her age.
And Loch Ness monsters.
Elise, what are you doing home?
I just got fired. Is there somebody here?
Hey, have you read this nonsense?
Oh my lord.
Oh no.
Grossed out and sad about this. Sally,
Oh.
I'm coming to camp.
Hey, that was literally me 2 days ago.
Your boyfriend was fucking someone else?
I was drunk and my hair looked like that, and I think I called some people on the phone and talked about camps.
Okay, Hans, I think I've had enough of this.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
I don't know if I need to watch that movie. I mean,
You
it
wanna
didn't even
see-
look bad enough to be angry at.
Her journey into camp where she discovers herself by hanging out with grosser women.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like just some movie. You know, I want to watch something that is so offensive to the eyes that some YouTuber, some narcissistic fucking self-described artist made.
Let me just give you this and hold on.
This summer, find out that the real summer camp was in our hearts all along.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Oh
that's-
yeah. That's epic. That's an epic for the win right there. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Is she gonna do Gangnam style?
Yeah. You know,
Oh, the official website is at .tumblr.com.
Yep.
Oh my lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
think
that's your vote, Hans? We're gonna watch
No.
Camp Tacoma or whatever.
It's probably gonna be very difficult to get.
We're
to
circling the
find
drain
it.
now. This is really rough stuff. If this is what the leading contender is at the moment,
I mean, fuck! I've never seen a Doug Walker movie. Should we just do one of those?
we haven't.
Seen none
It's
of
the
them.
big blind spot. I feel like we have to. I feel like we got to do it.
Like, let's watch the
Right.
first one and watch them in order.
Mhm.
Haven't we seen? Oh fuck! It's just such a difficult, long watch.
The first one's
it's
only
bad.
like an hour and a half, right?
No.
Oh,
Is
they're
it?
all 4 hours.
It feels like 4 hours. I don't know.
We
if
watch Kick-Assia on our retired program Civic TV, and that was about 3 hours. And
Oh my god!
yeah,
it was like an hour and a half of us just doing this. Just like, oh my fuck. When
Is that the
this
first in
ending?
the trilogy?
I think it's the last. I think
Oh.
we started backwards, like Star Wars.
Well, what's number
And-
one? I'm voting for whatever number one is.
Let me see. So
Maybe about an hour and a half of it just had like 30 people standing in a hotel room,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a very
Fuck.
beige mid hotel room.
yeah, you can tell it stinks.
Yes.
Kikasi is the first one, 2010.
Oh,
And
The
then you
3
have-
hour one?
It's
we're going back. Hans,
no,
you
it's an
wanna go
hour and a
back to
half.
Kick-Assia?
It's an hour and a half, so it's the most
We
accessible,
watched-
I guess.
We watched Kick-Assia, and then we watched like an hour of his game show. That's why it was
Oh,
3
yeah.
hours.
Suburban,
failed game
yeah,
show.
that's true. Yeah, then to get Suburban Nights is 2 hours, and then To Boldly Flee,
Boldly
which is
Flee.
the longest one, I think.
Can't
3
wait for that
hours,
one.
3.5 hours.
So Kick-Assia sometime next month. How's that sound?
Fuck.
Again. Oh, all right. I'm in for it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Eggy, you look excited.
That's when he's dressed like Bison from Street Fighter.
Eggy, did you freeze? He's zonked out.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
assume
fuck.
he's down to clown as well.
That's the one he just shoots in like someone's backyard in like New Mexico.
Yeah. Like you're seeing people's
Oh,
knickknacks
Eggy, we
on the
see you again.
cabinets. It's
Yeah.
bad.
This is the whole movie.
I think he turned on a clip, and it was like Medusa when she turns people to stone. That's what
So-
happened to Eggy there.
This is
Speaking of
setting.
Kick-Assia, so when I was saying that not cool, it's real movie. Like you could tell me this is a movie, I'm gonna watch it, and that's believable, digestible. As I said, Kick-Assia, that's kind of a little bit. That's like the baseline that I would compare. Like YouTuber movies, like the camcorder in the field kind of stuff. That's kind of
What we'll
so-
be doing pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Oh, my god.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, that's the sequel. So if you want to see that, you have to watch the sequel.
I'll see you guys in August.
Doug Walker, more like hug his cocker. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. So like Kikasi it is, I guess.
Yeah,
We,
stay tuned.
I think it's
everybody.
Kick-Assia.
Well, let's get some plugs in for the Is It Kino audience. Where can they find Hans and LowRes?
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Movies, a podcast about the active cinema. We got quite a few episodes, crossovers you can revisit with Mumkey Jones here. And then what did we talk about? We talked about Pain and Gain and Ambulance. We did a solo show on that. So check that out now.
Yeah, and me, I'm just Sydney and Jimmy's Treehouse on all the Spotify and that kind of shit, and on YouTube as well. Eggy, where can we find you?
I'm hiding under a rock like Patrick Starr from SpongeBob. I don't have anything to promote right now, but just stay tuned for the 48-hour film. It's going to be guaranteed kinography. You won't want to miss it.
Should we give an update, or should we save it for later on whether or not you set your pubic hair on fire?
Oh, yeah. So for the record, in my blackout drunk stream I did Friday nights, where I drank 750 milliliters of vodka and also a large hard seltzer of 24 ounces, I believe.
And you drank a whole jar of peanut butter.
And I drank most of a peanut butter while also simultaneously vomiting, from what I heard. I don't remember exactly.
Rank?
How did you,
Well,
did you
Yes.
fill it up
Did you
with water in the
melt it?
sink? What did you do?
You had a straw in the jar.
Anyways, yes, I did at some point step off camera because I'm not some degenerate that's gonna do that kind of thing on camera like some freak. I stepped off the side of the camera to set my pubic hair on fire because we got 250 likes on a previous episode of the Treehouse podcast. And now I was a little bit intoxicated at the time, but I just remember I was like, oh, that's just it reminded me of like the scent was like if you leave something on a grill really long and it just burns to charcoal. It was this really just foul burned
for a week.
Protein.
Yeah, doesn't go away at all. Yeah.
And I know somebody's gonna say, well, they're gonna make some kind of hygiene comment or whatever. No, I'm pretty sure that's what burn. I've never burned hair before, but I guess that's what it smells like. Either way, you know what? I said I would do it, and I'm true to my word.
It better grow back for the short film festival because I got an idea for a scene.
He's got his Videodrome penis now.
The whole movie's Eggy's eating his own shit. He's shitting his pants.
This is gonna be quite the art film. It sounds like.
Yes, I mean, if Kino Corner's helping direct, I guarantee he's gonna think it's fucking art.
And then you shit out of your penis. Your penis has been burned before, so now it looks like
He's lighting his pubes on fire and jerking off.
And it's a 20-minute scene because we're going for Italian realism, so we watch every second of it. Yeah.
You guys ever seen
Solo 2, the one-man show?
You guys remember the Spank Wire video? There's like a compilation of 3 minutes of like horrible gore and torture on people's genitals.
Yeah,
Pain Olympics.
Basically make that. Yeah, Pain Olympics clips and stuff.
Yeah, cutting your penis on a cutting board like it's a taco. Yeah.
Should we review the old Spank Wire reaction video, like the big compilation that I always got linked to back in the day?
Is that an hour and a half? Is that feature?
No, it's 4 minutes of disgusting, horrible shit you don't want to see, LowRes. That might be a me and Eggy video, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if I need to drag Hans into this, but it sounds like he knows all about it.
Yeah. I was the person that would show my friends that stuff early
here.
When
fuck it, Hans, you're invited. Then you can come on the review.
Yeah, my friends send me memes about like one guy, one jar, and just like remember when you scarred me for life when I was 11. I was like, yep.
They're getting revenge now.
Yeah.
Shitty meme.
The internet was very new here in Costa Rica. You have never seen this.
11. Were you like 30 when that came out?
Yep.
Hans?
Yep. Yeah, I was showing
11-year-old.
No, I wasn't sending it. I'm not sick. I was showing it to them in my living room.
Yeah.
You had a projector set up. It was a screening.
Rusty Cage literally has a projector in his living room, and when you walk into his house, he will show you cartel fucking beheading videos and shit. So that you joke, but Rusty will do that.
Yeah,
he really likes a beheading. It seems like this Rusty Cage.
Yeah, that's his big theme right now.
Oh boy.
I'm trying to be like Shane Dawson in the bathroom and just beheading, you know what I'm saying?
With your cat. That's right. That's a good way to round it all up. Do we have any final thoughts, boys, or should we say goodbye?
Yeah. I think I've said everything I've had to say. Peace out, Dawson heads. Until next time, let's keep getting fatter and greasier.
That's right. Well, that's my plan for sure.
Stop fucking cats. That's weird.
Fuck sickos.
This was a masterpiece. I can't wait for the 20-year later sequel, like Zoolander 2 and Dumb and Dumber 2.
Here.
All right, that has been Movies and Is a Kino. Thank you for listening.